Are we live?
We are live.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this show, we're doing our round three DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 Farmers Insurance Open. Right at the start, if you haven't already, subscribe to our video or subscribe to our channel. It really does mean a lot. Craig, kind of crazy weather day. We had a delay. People kind of, like we predicted, flew all over the cut line, going in, coming out. Tell me a little bit about tournament long showdown
Sorry, I just
yesterday.
was making sure we were up and live. It looks like everything is good here. I'm on my
Yeah,
end.
we're good.
Um, yeah, well, man, there are some blow ups to miss the cut for sure. The one that hurt me the most is Cameron Smith, who he was 79 today. I know that you got pretty hit pretty good by Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler, one of my picks in our DFS picks video. I thought he was good. Shot at 79, threw himself right out of there. And then I gotta apologize. I went in on Brooks and our picks. I doubled down yesterday. I don't know if Brooks is in U.S. Open form right now, guys.
Yeah, I think
I
I
don't
think
know if he's
Brooks.
there.
I had said I think my take on it is it's high risk, high reward, and so we definitely saw the high risk side of it. Thanks a lot, Damon.
Hey,
Glad you're
thanks,
enjoying
Damon.
it.
Thanks for joining us.
I was so surprised by Hovland. Man, I did not expect someone to go out and have that kind of
Yeah.
score on the South Course today. I think it's an awesome leaderboard heading into the weekend.
Stacked leaderboard. Very stacked leaderboard. I was just about to say that. Hovland, Rom, Scott, Finau, Reed,
Yeah, man,
Rory's down
even
there lurking.
Ryan Palmer, I think, is scarier than you'd think at 8 under. Um, Guy I like to see up there is Max Homa. You know, Kevin would want me to shout him out because he had a tough collapse last Sunday. So, man,
It is nice to see him back up there.
I
California
also hate the
guy.
Charles Howell missed cut. There's a few missed cuts. That one hurt me. Bubba hurt me. Bubba blew up and missed.
Yeah.
Jason Day. There's a lot of guys in that actually in that like 8,000 high 8,000 range seem to miss.
High 8,000. But Craig and I were just talking offline. Our sleepers video, 7,500 and under, all six of six through.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we say never make a lineup with all our sleepers, but hey, it'd be better than 70, 85% of my lineups right now
Well, and if it's any redemption for pumping Brooks so hard, maybe
for
that's it.
Brooks. At least getting the three sleepers through for sure.
Yeah, so as far as today went, as expected, both
Yeah.
courses played harder than they did yesterday. Um, man, if you guys were watching, like it was crazy weather. I actually could not believe how long they went, especially in the later. There was a couple times really bad weather hit, but when it was hailing out there, I was surprised how long they let that go before they blew the horn.
Yeah. It looked nasty. It kind of looked fun. I don't know. I like watching
It looks fun
both
if
guys
you're not
playing that.
playing for millions of dollars.
Hey, man, we played for nothing in weather like that and we didn't
That
call it.
well, that's what I mean. Like if you're playing for
Yeah.
nothing, I'm
Yeah.
happy
Yeah.
to play in those kind of conditions. If making or missing this putt is like hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially at the end of the week, then I can
For sure.
see, maybe let's blow the horn and come out here when it's not so crazy.
So a lot of predicting golf is randomness. You have to accept the randomness. I was trying so hard leading up to the week to find an advantage. We try to find any advantage we can. But with the course splits, south, north, north, south, almost identical. I mean, I went back and forth. Did they want to play the easy course on the hard day, the hard course on the hard like are you kind of surprised by that?
Well, and I think it's even closer. These numbers are from Rob Bolton, his Twitter
Yeah,
feed. I think it's even closer than that because I was doing the math, and that's not counting Matthew Wolf, um, and who else was
Charlie
it?
Hoffman
So
withdrew.
I don't
We had
know.
actually
So those guys they actually get scores for because they played.
Camilo,
So
Martin
Camilo, that was the other
Trainer.
one I was thinking, who withdrew just after the first round. So I don't know if those guys are included in that. So I think that South North, it might even be closer than that looks there.
Sorry, just looking at the comments here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of changes with the putts leading up to the cuts for sure. Xander, Craig, any thoughts on Xander?
I mean, he did well to make the cut. He has not been. I don't know what it is about Xander at this place. I was trying to make the case that likely
And
without having fans and it's 20 minutes from his house, so friends and family around, he might have a bit of an advantage. Um,
and you brought it up like they did on the broadcast that he's been sick or like he's hasn't been like healthy coming into this tournament
yeah, so
previously
I think it's nice to
previous
see him make
years.
the cut. I'd like to see him charge. Um,
It just doesn't make sense.
it doesn't make
He should
sense.
he
It's a course that fits
he
him
should like
well.
every
He's
statistical
tons of
arrow
experience
points out.
here. Yeah, Kepka looks unplayable. Day to me is just always like he is a volatile player. He has high upside. He doesn't flinch when he is in the top 10 in contention in a tournament, but
I
he seems to be someone who can miss cuts and then top 10 the next week.
So let's talk about those two for a second because there's kind of two ways we like to look at it. I like to be early before we see signs on guys, or let me see something from them and then we'll go on after. For Brooks, I'm still going to be early. I'm going to sprinkle him just like I sprinkle a
So
little bit
you
of
you
Valor.
you bet you double down, and now you're saying that you're going back to the trough. It's
I'm
aggressive.
not, but like I don't know, like in the if we can get Brooks as your third guy in at the Masters,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know. I don't know.
I think it depends on what price and ownership levels he's going to be at, because there is upside there.
And
With
we
Jason
always talk
Day,
GPP. Yeah.
to me, it's more like it seems like he just has courses and tournaments where he seems to be always relevant, and this is actually one of them. So I'm going to take my chances on him at those kind of tournaments. Um, to me, he's much more like I don't think he's going to get back into form and stay there. I think he's going to be just an erratic play, for health
I
reasons, for
I don't know.
equipment reasons,
Yeah,
for all the reasons you want to come up with.
I think Day is gonna pop at times, and I'm almost okay missing those
Yep.
by not playing him and like almost having the sanity and like peace of mind
Yeah, I mean,
of not
I
having.
just my contention, the opposite point of view, I would say is that when he is relevant, I think he like for a GPP play, he gets up there. It's not like
Yeah. Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
him have a bunch of 30th set 20th and just like linger
Yeah.
there making cuts. He's just gonna blow up. Um,
Yeah.
Anyways, should we jump into?
Let's
Oh
do it.
yeah, weather tomorrow, I guess. It looks like it's going to be calmer in the morning than the afternoon. I'm not gonna. To me, that weather in the afternoon is not enough to stay away from guys who are playing later.
Mostly inside out, but the last group is the single tee time, so it's kind of skewed a little bit. Hideki's in the very first group. He's T40 right now, so if you are looking for some kind of advantage, look at the tee times.
Yeah, look
They
at the
were
tee
just
times,
posted.
and especially I think with the guys high on the leaderboard, I'm not gonna stay away from them for that reason. I think if you're trying to fill out your lineups, you can be like, oh, okay, well, if conditions are gonna be slightly better, then maybe I'll look at guys who are going to be out there early as guys who maybe have a better chance to run up the leaderboard than people who are going to be at the lower end
Yeah.
going out late.
Real quick, Peck or Peck.
Just call him Peck.
Not sure where to go. Peck. Yeah, he was one of my sleepers this week, so I like Norlander. His price though, I think is up to 7,300 for round three showdown, and that just seems a little bit bizarre. And I got a couple guys in my picks around there. He moved up while others moved down, so I'm not quite sure about how to justify that for next round. But shall we jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Milton, Tony Finau, 10,000, 69, 67, South Course, 69, 67 on the North Course, 8 under, 1 eagle, 9 birdies, 3 bogeys. I mean, I tried to find like a good acronym, just like keep it simple, stupid. Like just keep playing Tony Finau. Like he's so good here. 5 top 25, I mentioned yesterday. He was on your pick show. 3 of those, I think, are top 6s or better. He's so good here.
Mm-hmm.
What can we take around or take out from the first 2 rounds? At the South Course, 8th in stroke gained tee to green, plus 3.467. Great. Fantastic. Both rounds, counting both rounds, 101st in driving accuracy, just under 43%. Actually, exact same for both rounds at that number. So I think that just shows that if he can clean up, kind of fine tune his driving a little bit, maybe find a couple more fairways, he can absolutely go off and just in calmer conditions, just score.
Yeah, I like Tony Finau as a play. I liked him coming into this week. I like him still. He's my one and done pick. I hope he maybe actually I don't want him to take the lead yet because I feel like he won't close it if he has the lead. So maybe if he's just like one back. And just as far as Damon, so obviously we only have strokes gain data for this week from the South Course, but I'll consider how they played on both. For instance, actually, the guy that I'll be bringing up right now, Patrick Reed. He's 8 under. He got all of those strokes on the North Course and even par today on the South Course. Comes in 9,600. The one thing that I guess I would say is, so I'm looking. The other thing I did with him was look at his history. So this goes back to the single round on the South Course, but then I looked at the last 3 years. So that's 3 rounds from each year because that's what we have strokes gained out for. Yeah. So his last 10 rounds at the South Course, he's averaging 2.3 strokes gained total. Which is just awesome. Yeah. He doesn't have a single time in those 10 rounds that he's given strokes back to the field. So to me, there's just like a huge, I think it's just the fact that he's a grinder and he likes to play, or he plays well, I think, on tough courses. Yeah, so
absolutely.
We did see him, he did still gain strokes on the field out there today because even with his even par, and so that is the reason I decided for a couple of my picks here. I use strokes gain and their history of strokes gain, just because if I'm looking at just the pure numbers, like there's one round, I forget what it was. Maybe it was 2019, but it was a ways back, maybe even further back than that. But it was like a higher 70s round, but they only lost like a single stroke to the field. So, it because of how much the conditions can change with wind on this course. Yeah. A 73 might actually be a decent round for how it was playing that day, but then a 68 could be like, oh yeah, it was like slightly better than average that day. So, but yeah, no, I like Patrick Reed a lot. I think that I like everyone above him too. Like I like Rahm. I think Rahm's ownership will get crazy. I think Rory maybe gets a little bit of an ownership decrease, but I still like him as a play. Yeah. Obviously Finau there, but I think Patrick Reed, maybe he'll be the one who's least owned of those guys.
Yeah. People might look at South Course 72. He got all his scoring on the North.
I think his ownership will still be high.
Yeah, of course. He'll be over 20. It maybe won't be 50% like we'll see with Finau and Rahm maybe. Yeah. I'm just kind of bitter. I don't have him, so maybe I'll hope that he doesn't do anything in round 3 and continue not to have him. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to play.
Just hedge.
I probably should hedge, but all those reasons kind of, it makes sense.
Okay, who you got?
Sammy Burns, 7,300. He was one of my picks going in. There's a kind of a common theme with my picks for round 3. 66 on North Course, 72 South Course, 6 under, 10 birdies, 2 bogeys, and a double. So I'm looking, I think we get a little bit of a better picture. When you compare just South Course, you're comparing 2 very different rounds, I think, in different weather conditions. When we look at the stats that we do have for 3 rounds, driving accuracy, greens in regulation, putts per greens in regulation, it might give us a better, more complete picture of how they've played Torrey so far. So that's what I'm looking at for my next 2 here. So he's 67th in driving accuracy, 50%, and 5th. This is what I really like. 5th in greens in regulation, 80.56%. On the South Course, though, he did finish 3 birdies in his last 4 holes. So good finish to the day. Good on the South Course, going right back to the South Course. Maybe he can kind of carry on that momentum. If he's hitting greens, that just means scoring opportunities. He's come down in price. He was one of my picks above 7,500, so he's come down. I mean, I really just like his price and kind of his upside at 7,300. Sam Burns.
Yeah, I like him. I have him as well, tournament long. There's no reason, I think, to stay away from him from what we've seen in the first couple rounds. So to me, it's he'll be part of the guys I'm looking at tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, my next one here, speaking of accuracy with the driver, Will Zalatoris, 7,900. He went 68, 71. He's -5. He's got an eagle, 7 birdies, 4 bogeys. And I guess what I should say is I'm being sarcastic when I say accuracy with the driver. If you look down today at his strokes gain numbers, this was on the South Course today. He gained a lot with his short game, which is actually atypical. He doesn't have a bad short game by any means, but it's more just that he's a really good ball striker.
Yeah.
He hit 1 of 14 fairways today.
Oh.
And he went out there and shot a 71, which, I don't know, I saw someone tweet stats. It's like the first time that's ever been done in the history of Torrey Pines. Maybe it's not exactly that, but something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so coming into today, he had 11 straight rounds. These are just not necessarily his 11 last rounds, but his 11 last ShotLink measured rounds with positive strokes gained off the tee. So I think that's just an aberration that we saw today. I think we're going to see him, be his usual self with the driver tomorrow and on Sunday. And then if we look at it, so far this season, his strokes gained off the tee, he's 8th place. He's gaining, almost 3/4 of a stroke. So I think we may not get as much out of the short game, but I think we're going to get more out of the ball striking. I think there's a good ceiling there. I don't think his ownership's going to get too crazy, but
if he can do that from the rough, we know how good of an iron player he is. If he's hitting half his fairways, that's a completely different round for, I feel like, someone who just hits their irons so well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's completely different if you're playing in the rough. I know, I live in the rough.
Yeah.
Playing from the fairway is more fun.
And you know how I feel like a week can't go by that Willie C's in there that I'm not plugging him. So yeah, I'll ride him. I got him week long. I'm gonna get him in some showdowns tomorrow.
So I like Sam Burns at 7,300, but a price I really caught my eye for Saturday. Cameron Tringale.
You just need to stop saying his name, I think.
No, I love it. I can't stop. I can't stop with Tringale. 6,800 on DraftKings. Seems ridiculous. It's I don't know why. I feel like he's a much better player than that price. I feel like it's a trap. I don't know. Maybe more ownership will go there. I don't know, but I'm playing him. I'm going to figure out a way to get him into my lineup. 72 on the South Course, 69 on the North Course, 3 under, 7 birdies, 4 bogeys. Again, looking at that complete picture, it's that class. If we just have the stats that we can use, it's that classic showdown. They're underperforming with their putter. If they can get back to average for themselves, if they can get back to a little bit closer to average, then he can have a great kind of next round. So 4th in driving accuracy, hitting 75% of his fairways, 21st in greens in regulation. I still think that's a very good number. It's 72.22%. And then tied for 72nd in putts per greens in regulation, 1.808. So his putting has not been well. And if you look at just the South Course, looking at the stroke gain data that we do have, he is 2nd in stroke gain off the tee. So he's setting himself up for these opportunities.
Now, how far in 2nd is he?
I don't know who's in 1st.
Well, Rory was gained 3 strokes off the tee in round 1.
Oh, so yeah.
So it's a pretty distant 2nd.
Tringale's got 1.9, but the next guy is 1.77.
Oh, yeah.
3 to 1.9. Yeah, that's why you measure with data, not ranks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, because otherwise you're like, oh, he's story. 2nd. Like he must be pretty close to the guy. Oh no, the first place was out there a lap ahead of everyone else.
But no, it's just scoring opportunities that he is presenting himself, but he's not getting yet. So if he can get some of those on Saturday at 6,800, he's my sleeper on our Twitter pick sheet. He's my sleeper in our sleeper video. I'm going in again.
Yeah, I think. Probably the same thing I said about him then. I don't know about his upside. Like he's not one of these, and unless he gets a crazy hot putter, I don't think he's one of these people who's going to go out there and shoot a 67, say, on this course because it's such a tough course. But I think he's a very solid play. I don't think there's a ton of downside compared to other guys.
Pretty sure his family house is just like an hour north of Torrey Pines. Just in kind of South LA. So again, a local kind of.
Well, and as much as, I think the other thing that's important about that kind of thing is that it means they've grown up playing on those type of courses, those type of greens. It's not necessarily familiarity with this course. It's like.
It's desert golf. It's coastal golf.
Yes.
It's
yeah.
elevation golf. Yeah. It's different things. Yeah.
Speaking of desert golf, well, can we call it desert golf? Jason Kokrak. Well, he won
Okay.
in Las Vegas,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it was
I
a
got you. I
segue.
got you.
Yeah, yeah.
I got you.
7,100 on DraftKings. He went 70-69. He's -5. 8 birdies, 3 bogeys. He's another one who I looked into his history at the South Course a bit. His average over the last 11 rounds, plus 1.7 strokes gained total. It is not a perfect record, like I said about Patrick Reed. He does have 3 -1s in those 11.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, no, I mean, if you're gaining 1.7 over a decent enough sample size that it looks like a bit of a trend, then
Yep.
I'm gonna be thinking that you have a decent feel for the course. He hits the ball a long way, so you would think that he would be able to handle Torrey
Yeah.
Pines South better than a lot of guys who don't necessarily do that.
Yeah.
But we saw him, decent ball striking. He gained ball striking overall. He was lights out with his short game. But I mean, to shoot a 69 out there, I mean, aside from I guess Victor Hovland, who knows how that
Yeah.
went down, but to shoot a
Yeah.
69
Yeah.
out there on the South Course today is just really good. So
Yeah.
maybe I do worry a little bit about his ownership creeping up because of that, but at -5, I think Werenski is a similar price, and he's a stroke better, So
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe there's slight ownership issues. I think he's an obscure enough name that his ownership's not going to get crazy.
Well, he's not obscure. He's, I mean, a veteran on the
Yeah,
PGA,
but
but
like
I feel
not
like
not
he's
a
not. He's not
buzzworthy
a.
name. He's not a.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But yeah, so I think he's an upside play. He may be a little bit more volatile, say, than a Cameron Tringale, but I feel like his upside is a bit higher. Whereas Cameron Tringale, I feel like he's not going to go out there and necessarily blow up in any way. But
Bulletin board material, Tringale. Make it happen tomorrow. Pin that up. Grandstand Craig. Wow.
so what do you think about Kokrak though?
Yeah, he's fine. I like the price. I like my picks around there a little bit better.
Do you have any tournament
Uh,
long or no?
nope, I didn't get
Okay.
there. So again, maybe that's why
Yeah,
I'm
I was gonna
not
say
super
maybe
excited about
we said the same thing on our picks show. I was like, yeah, I like Kokrak, and you're like, yeah, I'm not getting there.
it. Fire off any questions. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll have another chance now. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thumbs up. Leave us comments who you like on Saturday. All those things kind of help us, and we appreciate all the help our little community can give
Yeah,
us.
no, thank you, Colin. Yeah, let us know below, I guess, if there's anyone we're missing that you want to stake your claim on. I think the one guy that, if you played today, Rahm and Rory both had ownerships that were crazy. Palmer as well had a pretty high ownership. I think Rory is the one that we might see come back to earth a bit, so that might be a good contrarian play. I think Rahm's is still going to be high though, so that's the one. I think Rahm has this. I like him as much of anyone about like his chances to go out there and play well, but the ownership scares me. I think the
Who do you want to do a winning pick,
winning pick at this
or is it
point.
or is it too early? Should we save that for tomorrow
Well, no, let's do one today and see.
and then check in?
Yeah, not necessarily the number, but who's your guy?
I don't know. I'm a little bit torn here. Um,
Okay, I'll go. I'm sticking with my one and done. I'm going
are
just
you?
like you did last week with Siwoo Kim. You stuck with him as a pick. I got to do the same
Hey,
thing. Finau breaks his own personal Puerto Rico curse and gets it done.
that's the name I wanted to say. Rom was creeping into my mind, but then the name that's sticking out of me because I feel like I don't want to say him, but he's gonna win. Is Patrick
Yeah, me
Reed?
too. And
Like,
Ewan just said the same thing. And it just seems
oh,
like one of
oh,
those one of those tournaments that Patrick Reed ends up winning. But
yeah. I mean, he's just there. He's gonna linger around. He's probably gonna be in the last group or second to last group tomorrow, and then he's just gonna do his
he's gonna have
thing.
some
I
dirty
mean,
up and downs and probably chip something in or.
yeah. So let's say they're at 9 now. Hovland's at 9. Let's call it
I'm
a
not calling score. I'll tell you a score tomorrow.
Patrick Reed's gonna get done at 17 under.
Okay.
Oh, that's low. Oh, that's really low. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I
No,
said I'll get another rounds of data on the South Course before I throw something out there.
fair enough. All right, should we end it there if there's nothing
Yeah, let's
else?
call it. Take care, guys.
Okay, thank you everybody for watching. Good luck tomorrow.
Yep. Good luck, guys. See you next
Thumbs
time.
up, comment. See ya.